Hello, Dollhouse friends. So, here I am, bright and early this morning when I started covering this little chair with this material. So, I thought it was maybe like a ribbon, but what it is like a stretchy kind of t-shirt material that has been cut to a long strip. Um, so it curls on the edges. It would actually make great rug hooking material if any of you are rug hookers. What's new in my room? I made a little jar for my crayons and put my crayons up. I'm using this little clock from Maria with the sheep on it. I put in a scroll and a plant. I've got my paint brushes, and I've got this little sewing machine from Deb out that I'm going to use in here, and my ball of twine. I put my picture up on the wall, but I did a nifty thing. I used magnets on it. So now I can put it up and take it down if I want. Look at that. See how aggressively I can take it down? So I've got that up, and I'm going to do some more painting yeah, there it is. I'm going to do another one as well to put it up, and I can put them both up, both with magnets. There you saw some little twines that I've made, some little spools of thread, that I made. So I'm going to stick them in a jar. What else did I do here? Right. So I painted the pot plant, the bead that came from Emily, and glued in the plants. What else have I done? Oh, there's my little spools of thread, and I've put it into one of the little jars from Emily. I later managed to stuff the cork right down inside and had to mash it up to get it out, so that was a joy. What else have I done here? Oh, I've made some little succulents in paper jars. This one needs to be straightened up here. And added them to my shelves. Let's see if I get that sorted. Look, I think I might have done it. This was this morning, and I have no idea what's happened since then. That sunshine. Oh yes, and I've added more of the yarn, I guess it is, to the chair, and I've been Mod Podging the bejesus out of it. Let me tell you, it's made it absolute plastic. Here's some books I've been making for my little room, and I think I've got 4 or 5 that I made. Yes. So I have to decorate these. You'll see that in a few moments, what I've done with them. So, what have I shown you? What have I done today? I colored the planter that I made and glued the bits in. I made myself a little gratitude journal, and I wrote actual things that I'm grateful about. So I've written like thing that says like, I love Kevy so much, I think, and about Lou's hugs and how Wish is an exceptional human, and made a little pencil, and I thought I'll keep that there like that on my window seat. I put some dye or some paint into the cup. It doesn't really look like coffee, but at least it looks like something's in there. What else did I do? Did I show you this? Where I filled up the little jar with spools of thread that I made. And I've set up the little sewing machine that came from Deb, and I made some books. So I made like a book of, it says flowers on it, and it's a pretend book of craft paper. And I put in 2 Terry Pratchett novels. So I made a little copy of Witches Abroad and a little copy of We Free Men, and put that in there. And I made a book, and I titled it V&A Quilts. I made little succulents. I put twine in there. I made a little jar that I don't know what it holds, but it's in there. And my crayons in their jar on the shelf. I have covered the chair in this stuff. Oh, what did I just put my arm in? Nothing, maybe. In this stuff. So I've just been cutting strips, basically, and Mod Podging, and cutting strips and Mod Podging. So by the end, it'll just be a plastic bit of overly upholstered furniture, which probably suits me well, actually. And then I did another painting, so I'll do the same with this one. I'll put it on magnets like I did with that one, so I can change them up. So it'll either be on the desk with being worked on, and this can then be just tucked out of the way, and the painting can be there. Or, oops, my painting brushes fell down. That's all right. I've also got this. It's drying. So it's my artist palette that I've made. So that can go in there somewhere. And then I've got this little paper basket I made. I recut it and balanced it a little better. And so it's sort of drying now. It's had a good glue soak. And I made lots of little tubes of paint. So they will go into the basket. So I'm getting closer to getting it done, I guess. Or to a place where it sort of feels like it doesn't need any more work right now. It's coming along. So I think it's done. Like I've said many times now, I don't think I'm ever actually going to be done, but I think for now this room is at a place where I'm going to be content with it for as is, and I'm sure inspiration will strike me to do more stuff with it as time goes on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up, and there's like a couple, I guess there's two sort of setups that the room could have, and I'm going to do those, and I'll come back and show you each of the setups. All right, so here is one of the setups for Cara's attic room. It is, yes, it's nighttime and I'm still drinking coffee. Anyways, here's one of the setups. So this is the sewing setup. I've used the table as a stool to sit on. I've got my little bolt of fabric there and some trim, and I've got my spools of thread in there. I've cut out a little pattern for a shirt that's on the sewing machine. Down here is my painting that I'm working on. On the shelf I've got my paints and my paintbrush. I've got my books, and I've got my twine and some jars. And yes, I don't know, I haven't been clear about this. That's an ashtray with a little smoke for after I'm done all my work. There's my crayons and my clock from Maria, and just a little scroll of paper and a flower. In the corner I've got my fabric and my knitting and my jar of beads. I've got my coffee on my window bench, and my diary, and a lovely flower, and my chair set up. And I've Mod Podged my chair so much, it's essentially plastic. I'm still not quite sure if I'm happy with it. I think that I'm just going to let it dry out completely, and I might just whack more of this fabric to it. So we'll see. But right now, that's where it is. Yeah, I've made a little chandelier. And this is the setup in sewing mode. All right, I'll set it up in painting mode. Okay, and this is it in painting mode. So I've stored my sewing machine to the side. I've got a painting up that I'm working on, my palette out, and there's my little basket of paints. I have my paintbrushes. I've stored my beads and my thread down there. And I've set up the room for some painting. All right, there is one more mode. Okay, this is the other mode, which is the relax mode. So I put my painting away. I've got the sewing machine sort of tucked back and the palette put aside. I've put my paints away. I've got all my sewing stuff put away. I've taken out my knitting because I might do a spot of knitting. I've got a cup of coffee. I've got my journal. And I've got just a little smoke so I can sit and relax and look at the view. And there you go. Cara's room. What you think?